Drinking? Oh, I think you said drink. I've been drinking. I live in the brewery.
That's my boss, don't.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. You all know each other? It's a family reunion. Has anyone actually been drinking all day? Like it's a brewery, you could do. I like the self-service thing that they've got here. So, it's your boss, you said. Okay, so you know Nick, you know the compere. Does everybody know Nick? Yeah, you check that everybody knows. Okay, and you guys, who are you two? Do you know Nick?
Just been for a jog.
You've just been for a jog? Are you serious? You've been for a jog? Okay, you came in here to warm up. Welcome to coming to the coldest ever possible room in Gloucester. Like a pardon? You're cooling down. How far did you run? What's your name, buddy?
Chris.
Chris, good to have you here, Chris. And your friend?
Mark.
Mark, how do you two know each other?
Friends.
It's friends. It's like one of you's grooming the other or something like that. I don't know. Good to have you here, Chris. Good to have you, Mark. That is good. It's correct. My name is Demetrius Deech. It's a Greek name. Dimitrias Deech. It is Greek. It's short for Gary. Hello. I'm learning Greek at the moment, actually, because it's part of my heritage. It's part of my ancestry. So I'm trying to learn Greek. Very difficult, because although I've sort of picked up bits in my life, there are certain letters in Greek which are difficult to pronounce. For instance, the K is pronounced like a G sound, of a kappa, so a G. And I'm sort of getting my head around it now. And this is the problem that my grandparents, when they first came to the country in the 1950s, it's very difficult for them. Because in Greek, it's very difficult to pronounce income tax. So they were getting used to it. They were proper immigrants as well, my grandparents. They came here on a boat. Not like a $29.99 Ryanair flight or anything like that. It proper came in on a boat. My granddad landed 1952, came off the boat at Southampton with nothing but the shirt on his back. Immediately arrested. Public indecency from the waist down. So it's good. Anyway, I'm going to find out. I'm going to chat to you and get to know you. Try and find out. Give me a cheer if you're a vegan. One person. I don't even have go at vegans or anything like that now. A lot of my friends are turning vegan because they're not getting enough attention as a vegetarian. So it's not. Are you all from Gloucester? Are you all from Gloucester? I am Bryce Nixon. I'm from Cheltenham. Anyone from Stroud? I did a gig in Stroud. Can you believe it? I know the thought of comedy in Stroud blows your mind. I did a gig in Stroud, and there was a couple. I chat to people, okay? And there was a couple. There's a boy and a girl on the front row. They were in their 20s, and I said, "Are you a couple?" And they said, "Well, we were, but we split up 2 weeks ago. But because we bought tickets for the comedy night, we thought we'd still come along." That's true. And I said, and they did say, to be fair, that even though they'd separated, they would remain cousins. So it's good. It's good fun. I like it. I'm excited. The holiday periods are coming up as well. Christmas. I like the holidays as well. There's all these different themed holidays that you can do now. That's exciting, isn't it? You can go on like Disneyland and that. You can have like Star Wars themed holidays. Pretend that you're Luke Skywalker. You can have Star Trek holiday. Pretend you're Captain Kirk. Or you can go to a caravan park. Pretend you're a gypsy. There's lots of different things that you can do. Anyway, what can I tell you about myself? I've got a daughter. She's called Eleni. That's a Greek name as well. It means bankrupt. She was born exactly 3.5 years ago at the crack of dawn. That's a lie. Wife's not called Dawn. So, and it was caesarean section. So, do you know what people used to say? They used to say, if your wife has a natural birth, you've got to make sure you're there watching, maybe take a few photos, be there at the coalface, at the business end. It's beautiful. I'm like, no. Why would you want to see your favourite nightclub get bulldozed? Any other parents in for your young children? Oh, come on. I know you're a young audience, but statistically speaking, there's got to be at least one slag in here. It's so competitive being a parent now. I go to all the coffee mornings. It's generally mums. That's fine. I'm cool with that. I take my daughter along, and they're all there. It's so competitive. They're all trying to outdo each other. Oh, my Felicia, she's 7, and she makes this absolutely adorable humos. Then there's another man going, yeah, my Jordan, he's 5, and he vapes. And they've all got the names as well. Jaden, Jordan, Taylor, Tyler, Brandon, Random, named after his dad, I assume. I don't get these names. I don't get them. And I tell you who I do blame for these names is celebrities, Hollywood stars. Have you heard of Kanye West? Do you know what Kanye West called his daughter? North! If your surname, Kanye West called his daughter North, so she became Northwest. If your surname is West, there are just 3 names to avoid. North, South, or Fred. That's all you have to do. They do, and it's weird because they breastfeed as well. Obviously, I can't do that. I don't know how I feel about that. I think it's good that women are comfortable to breastfeed it in public, in a coffee shop, making a latte. It's difficult, you know. And I don't know what to do. Once I got both bollocks out of solidarity, and she's still pressing charges. Can you believe that? So it's good. So what sort of day have you 2 joggers had? Was it a good jog? How far did you go? How far did you run?
To say it's Strava Brook, so yeah. A couple of miles.
A couple of miles, that's pretty good. Is there a reason? Are you jogging for a reason? Are you training for a race? Are you running from the police? What are you doing? You don't even have to get fit nowadays. Did you know that? You don't have to get fit. I'm wearing black. I'm actually 27 stone. Can you believe that? I'll tell you why. Because do you know what men are doing now? It's predominantly men. If you want the look of rippled muscles, you can have it tattooed to you. Do you know? I heard this. I've got a friend who's a makeup artist, and she did this on a BBC programme called Poldark. And the main actor in there, he didn't have the chiseled abs that you see. It was makeup. And I was like, that is the best story I've ever heard. And you can do that. My friend, he went to a tattooist, asked to have a 6-pack tattooed to him. Now he's got Foster's written across his chest. So that's pretty good. It's pretty good. This is good. You're a nice audience. You were good. You seem nice. There's men and women in the room, and I'm jealous of women. And I'll tell you why. Because you look out for one another. I wish I was a woman myself, because you protect each other. As blokes, we stitch each other up. We give each other nicknames. We play practical jokes on one another. You get a group of lads go into a bar, and you'll see all of them with their nicknames. Hey, Big Phil, Big Dave, Big Bob. Girls don't do that. They don't go meet my friend, Fat Jackie. It's Jolly Jackie. I wish I was a girl. I should be gender fluid. Now, for those who don't know, most people do know, and it's 2021 and quite well, gender fluid is for people who can't decide if they're a man or a woman, if you're male or female. One day you wake up, decide to be a man, the next day you wake up, decide to be a woman. I'll be honest with you, if you can't decide something, you're a woman. Now I know how that joke goes down. Okay, that does split the room. Half the room like it, the other half can't decide. So it's good. It is. I used to play practical jokes. I used to live in a shared house, a group of lads living together. Do you know what we used to do? My favourite practical joke, when Tic Tacs brought out a new flavour of Tic Tac, which was blue and slightly bigger, and consequently looked very similar to a Viagra tablet, we thought it would be hilarious if we replaced our friend's stash of Viagra with these Tic Tacs, so when said friend would go out on a date with his girlfriend, go upstairs to take what he thought was a Viagra tablet, and he thought in about 15 minutes' time he was going to end up with a penis with the rigidity of a hand on a frying pan, from John Lewis. We're downstairs sniggering away because we knew in about 15 minutes' time he and Mayos would be trying to play snooker with the length of rope. And we thought about that and thought, actually, what would be even better? You see, we had another housemate who liked Tic Tacs. He had an erection for 18 months. He was walking around knocking things over. This thing ruined his life. He lost his job as a lifeguard. And you'd think all the girls would be interested in him. He couldn't get a girlfriend, his breath stunk. So that's what men do. Oh, this is good fun. It's nice to be at a brewery. Nice to be at a brewery. Are those real things that make beer, or are they fake? How much do they cost? I want to buy one. No one knows. That's good. I was hoping you'd give me a price, and then I would say, does that include VAT? But, oh, you know. Yeah, thank you that one person clapped that. I'll be honest, it's all or nothing. It's like being in an orgy, basically. Thank you, one person clapping. It's like, because the thing is, you don't always clap for a joke, and the rest of you heard that, no, not fucking clapping for that shit. Yeah, you haven't even paid to get in, have you? Yeah, you have to pay to get out, by the way. Oh, that's good. This is nice. Look, this is good. This is great. Thank you for coming out for tonight. I did a gig with Nick a few years ago, and it was involved with this brewery here. I was asked to do a gig, and it was for Gloucester Pride. Okay, it was obviously Gay Pride. I didn't realise that at the time, because when I got the call, the gentleman didn't actually say it was for Gay Pride, something Gloucester Pride, and I'm trying to work out what that means. I googled Pride whilst I was on the phone, and do you know what came up? Do you know what the other word for pride is? A pride of lions, the collective name for lions. And I'm thinking, a collective of lions? Why would you have a comedy night for that? There's no zoo in Gloucester. And I said on the phone, I didn't realise there were any in Gloucester. He said, yes, Dimitri, there's loads. I said, oh, will there be any at the event? I said, well, of course. That's what the awareness gig is for. I said, well, that sounds very dangerous. Will they be in cages or on a leash? That was an event which was after dark. Oh, there we go. It's good. So this is good. Let's push the other door. That's it. Is it? Why has she left? For pizza. Shall we lock the door? Just see that. Or have a secret code. I say something really weird when she comes in. In fact, why don't you hide behind that barrel? When she comes in, everyone, do a pylon. Do you remember that from school? Like when you were at school 3 days ago? Yeah. No, my best friend, we lived together. He came out 2 years ago. We've been friends for 25 years. We're friends at university. And he came out, 2 marriages, he had 1 child, out of the blue. He announced to our group of friends before, but he came out to us as friends before he came out to his parents. But the weird thing, it was on WhatsApp. It was on the group WhatsApp chat. He'd been divorced for about a year from his second wife, and he just sort of made an announcement. He said, look guys, I'm going to say I'm bisexual, I'm now in a gay relationship. There's no emoji on WhatsApp which can acknowledge that. You know, it's like thumbs up cowboy hat, I don't know. I did the double fist, but... But you do, I was talking about charity gigs, you get asked to do lots of gigs for charities. People say, can you work for free? It's for charity. And then you have to make your choice as to whether you should do that or not. I was asked to do a gig for people once who had gambling addictions. I'm thinking, well, it's their choice. You choose to gamble. It's not an infliction on you. Well, I did the show in the end, raised loads of money. Not by the comedy, they had a raffle. So I was telling you about my little girl, Eleni, and she came 3.5 years ago. Me and my wife, we were struggling to conceive because we're of an age where it was difficult. So we went to our doctors. Well, I say doctors, not a real doctor. It's a GP. Any GPs in? No, it's easy. Anyone, they've got laptops on their desk. They can Google your symptoms. Anyone can do that. You know, if you call them out on it, they're like, no, look, I'm just buying motor insurance. So anyway, he suggested that we go and have tests. So I was asked to do a sperm test, and mine was at Gloucester Royal Infirmary, I believe it is called. Look at that. And you go, man with an actual hat, with an actual pizza. That's great. This is kind of weird. It's like when people come in, you're expecting me to do something, I don't know, steal his hat, who knows what I could do. So anyway, so I had to go there to give a sperm test, and I was given a cup and it had my name on it, and I waited, and the nurse comes in and she calls me to this tiny little room, a room assigned purely for the act of masturbation. So I was showed into this tiny little room. All it had in there was a sink, a mirror, if that's what you want to see yourself, a magazine, which I made the mistake of picking up, and a tiny little plastic chair, which was still warm from the man before. And then in this artificial environment, I have to get myself going. They're off to the room now. We can help them out. And I said, now I've got to get myself in the mood. There's this bright light. It's kind of weird. Luckily my appointment was at 5:15, so I'd watched Countdown. And the weird thing is, I'm trying to get things going. I can hear people walking past, so I thought I'd shut the door. Anyway, I finish, I get the contents into the jar I need to get into the jar. I then get my results a week later, and everything's fine. I'm delighted with the results. It's fine, everything's fine. And the piece of advice that the doctor gave me to then pass on to my wife was to relax, go on holiday, and he said try different positions. That was bloody brilliant. I went home, I said, look, we've got to try different positions. I get missionary. We're going to do doggy fashion, the butterfly, the cowgirl, the reverse cowgirl, the Pegasus 2000, the three-man ranger, the unicorn 360, the rifleman, the countryman. I have no idea what I'm talking about, Gloucester. Those are just caravans. Well, that's enough about me. I was asked to do 10 minutes tonight. I think I've done it an hour. So I've enjoyed being here. You have to keep supporting these super spreader live comedy events. My name is Deech. If you've enjoyed me, then I've given you the gift of comedy.